Tiny House Prepper.
Live simple, live free.
Hey everybody, I'm Bill with Tiny House Prepper, and you know, as we head into the grand solar minimum for the next few years, Elizabeth and I are going to be using many different strategies to get us through. One of those is microgreens. It's only one of many things we'll be doing, but we're going to start with microgreens. Microgreens, easy to grow. You can harvest in 6 or 7 days. You can do it inside, practically anywhere. Very high in nutrients. I've just bought my first starter kit from True Leaf Market, and so watch as I experiment with growing my first batch of microgreens. So I've just received my microgreens starter kit from True Leaf Market. Now they have 3 different kits you can get. They have the hydroponics kit, or you can grow them in soil, or the deluxe kit that they have where you get both systems. We went ahead and ordered just the hydroponics kit. This costs $56, was free shipping, and I got it in about 10 days after I ordered it. Now when I picked up the box, it was delivered by the Postal Service, and when I picked up the box for where it was sitting on my porch, I immediately noticed the sound of seeds inside, loose all over the place. And sure enough, right down here in the corner, when I open it up, I find this whole pile of loose seeds inside the box. So I very carefully looked at each bag of seeds, and I found this one right here, which is the basic salad mix that has a hole in the top of it where the seal didn't quite seal tight during the manufacturing process. Now I could get all upset about that and, you know, rant and rave to the company about the seeds being loose or whatever, but I know that that kind of thing just, no matter how careful you are, that kind of thing just happens sometimes in manufacturing, and they didn't notice that the seal wasn't completely done. Most of the seeds there, I think I'm going to be able, they're still in the box, I think I'm going to be able to gather them up, put them back in here, so not that much lost really. So there are boxes of seeds here, spicy salad mix, basic salad mix, kohlrabi, there's another basic salad, cabbage, radish. So they give me a number of different kinds of seeds to get started with. And then this is the pads that hold the moisture for the seeds to grow on. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like 6 trays. And a spray bottle, water spray bottle, to help keep the seeds moist. And then there's instructions here which are really basic. I'll go over those in a minute. And then here's about adjusting the pH of your water. I don't know anything about this. I'm just going to be reading through the instructions as a complete neophyte. And I'll take you along on the journey and see how it goes. So I was able to gather up all the seeds from the bottom of the box, and I put them in a baggie. And the seed bag that had leaked was still half full, so I poured the rest of those in there. I took the cut the label off and put that in there so I know which one it is. So these are the seeds that were loose in the box. I may have lost a little bit, but I think they're probably mostly still there. So I'm good to go here. So here are the entire directions. It looks pretty simple. And then on the back side, there's directions about what to do if you end up with mold or with rot. And there's a couple of tips. So I'm going to go ahead and get this first batch started. I'm not going to read all this to you, but I'll explain what I'm doing as I go. So I have a packet of these grow pads that absorbs the water. And the first thing it says to do is to pour a cup of water into the tray. That just doesn't seem like enough to me, but I'm going to go with the instructions the way it says. Then it says to lay the pad in there and let it absorb the water. Sorry about that focus. So I got it laid in there now. I just let it sit for a few minutes and absorb the water. Now I've let it sit here for a few minutes And this is all pretty wet, but there are some places here where it's still completely dry and there's still water sitting in here. So I'm just kind of doing this, and the water underneath is running down to the end so that the whole thing is now getting wet. So I just let that sit for another couple minutes. Now it says evenly spread 2 to 3 tablespoons of seed over the mat. The more seeds on the mat, the denser your crop will be. Try to keep the seeds from bunching together. So 2 to 3 tablespoons. I don't really know anything about any of these seeds, so I'm just going to grab one to start. This is the basic salad mix. This is the one that was leaking, so I'll just go ahead and try this. This is like, I don't know, 6 or 8 different kinds of greens all mixed together. So there's 3 tablespoons. Now it says to try to not let them bunch up in piles, but the plastic underneath in the tray has ridges in it. And see, the ridges are filling with this stuff. So it's like I got to try to spread it out a little bit. That's sort of awkward. So you can see that these trays have these ridges. I guess it lifts it up out of so it doesn't sit in water. Trouble is, the cloth that you put sags into those ridges, and so you get these, holes. I did the best I could to get them spread out and try to get them not where it's bunched up in the holes too much. And then they sent this spray bottle. I'm supposed to spray it. But look at this. The nozzle, the hose in the nozzle is longer than the bottle. So the bottom here is just a little, I don't know, little plastic thing. So I'm just going to cut it off so it'll fit. So now I just cut this off where it's short enough where it'll actually fit in the bottle. Easy fix. And then it says to spray the seeds till they're completely wet. And you cover it over with one of the other trays to make it dark. It says thoroughly mist seeds with a spray bottle. Cover with another tray and place in an area at room temperature. And then the next step, uncover and mist the seeds 1 to 2 times per day. When the sprouts have taken root, remove the tray permanently and expose to the light. Continue watering as needed. Alright, so I got this set up. Now I'm just going to take it out into the sunroom and just set it on the floor out there. It's nice and warm. And then I will spray it this evening and then again in the morning. And I'll give you a daily update on what's happening with this. So for right now, I just have this sitting out here in my sunroom on an end table. This is the next day. Day 1, I guess, so it's been 24 hours. Oh wow, it's already starting to sprout. Yeah, it's already starting to sprout. So I'll go ahead and spray it again. Then I put the lid back on. We'll check it again tomorrow. Day 2. So this is day 3 and we'll take a look at it. All right. Now it's starting to leaf out, and the directions said that once the leaves start that you leave the cover off of it so it can get to the sunlight. And then it said to water as needed. Now, I'm not sure whether that means to spray it with mist or to actually water it. But up until now I realized with the lid on it the water has not evaporated out. It's kind of been like a planetarium. But now that the lid is off, it's going to need a lot more water because it'll evaporate. So for now I just did the mist, but I'm going to keep a close eye on it to make sure that there's moisture in this pad, and if there's not, then I might pour some water in there. One thing I noticed is that it's all germinated here in the center, but I got rows of it on this side that haven't germinated right in here. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it didn't have enough water or what. This is now day 4. Since I took the cover off yesterday, it's starting to green up nicely. Also, with the cover off, the moisture evaporates out much faster, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of water. It's looking good. Now here's day 5, and it's doing pretty well. Out here in the sunroom it's pretty warm, so the water is evaporating out, so I have to be sure to water it quite a bit. Keep that pad moist underneath. But it's looking good. A couple more days. Now this is day 6, and it's definitely getting thicker and fuller. Out here in the sunroom it's warm, and I'm discovering I need to water this every single day to keep that pad wet because it's growing hydroponically. So it's important that the pad underneath is kept wet, and out here it just evaporates off, so I'm watering it every single day. Now this is a question here for me as to when to actually harvest these. According to the directions it says harvest times may vary. Greens adorning their first set of true leaves and are between 1 and 3 inches tall are ready, or when the flavor is to your liking. This is about 1 inch tall, about that much. So I guess it could probably double in size. I don't really know what it's supposed to taste like. Okay. Tastes green. Tastes like a salad. I don't know how the flavor would change as it got taller, whether it would get sweeter or more bitter. I don't know. But I think I'll let it go another day or two just to try to get more volume out of it before I harvest it. We'll see what happens. Like I said at the beginning, this is the first time I've ever done this, so I'm learning as I go. And I'm hoping you're finding this to be interesting as I learn. So this is day 7, and some of them are taller than others. I think the tall ones are about 3 inches or even more. It's actually pretty thick here now. So I think I'm going to go ahead and harvest them, see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and harvest these. If I pull up this mat, you can see that the roots are completely grown through it. So I'm not really completely sure how to harvest it, whether to just pull them up by the roots or whatever, and the directions don't really say all that much, except it just says at harvest time, and then it has this picture of a scissors there. So I guess I'll just use scissors and cut them off. So I guess I'll take it out of the tray, turn the tray over, so I have easier access to it. And then I have these kitchen scissors, which are stainless steel, made for the kitchen. I guess just like that. Seems a shame to waste that, but it's actually grown right in. The roots are growing all the way through this pad. If I try to get it much closer, I'm cutting into the pad, so I just get as close as I can without cutting the pad. Now I've got it harvested about as close as I could. I got a pretty good sized bowl out of it. What I discovered as I was harvesting was that these roots are really embedded in here. There wouldn't be any way to pull them up, to pull them through without tearing up the pad and getting the pad in the food, and you don't want to do that. So I used the scissors and I got as close as I could. It looks like there's a lot of waste here, but I got as close as I could without actually cutting into the pad. You don't want to cut into the pad because then you get little pieces of pad in the food. So there it is after it's harvested. So we're having dinner this evening and we've got fish.
Got poached salmon.
Salmon?
Mm-hmm.
That's not fish? We got salmon, we got fried plantains, which is something new to us. We've just discovered them, we like them. And we took a pile of the microgreens, put them on the plate, and then put some pieces of cucumber and a yellow squash on top with salad dressing. And I have ranch.
It's pretty good. I mean, it tastes like sprouts. I like sprouts.
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good salad.
And we lightly fried the plantains in some coconut oil. Pretty neat.
And even if you don't have the other stuff, the cucumbers and stuff, just putting a little bit of ranch dressing on top of it, that's very nice. It's delicate.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm gonna have to figure out how to take some of my Thrive raspberries and make like a raspberry vinaigrette.
There you
That
go.
sounds really good on it too.
Yep. Okay, so last night for dinner we had the microgreens as a salad for a large side salad for one of our vegetable servings, and I was very pleasantly surprised with how good it tasted. We really enjoyed it, especially with a little bit of ranch dressing on it. It was good enough that I went back for seconds. And so now here the next morning I'm going to put it in my smoothie. Elizabeth and I generally make smoothies just about every morning, and we've done that for quite a long time. Now we always use 100% Thrive ingredients in our smoothies, and generally we use about half vegetables and half fruit. And it's one of the great things about the Thrive Life food is that if you have a stocked pantry, you have such a huge selection when you're making a smoothie. You don't have to decide when you're at the grocery store what you're going to put in your smoothie and then buy that fresh stuff, and then if you don't use it in a couple days it goes bad. I have a whole huge selection of stuff that I can choose from, and I'll show you that in a minute. But so normally I would fill this about halfway or a third of the way with vegetables, and then I would go the rest of the way with fruit. But now what I'm going to do is use the microgreens instead. This will allow me to get fresh greens in there and to be able to do a smoothie without using up my Thrive Life food storage, because this is renewable. I can grow this every couple batches a week. The food storage, of course, once you use it, it's gone. So this will allow me to stretch my food storage a little bit more by using the greens in the smoothie. And I'm adding a huge amount of nutrients because apparently this is very nutrient dense. Now this is where we keep some of our Thrive Life daily pantry. This is a shelf in our living room. This is a lot of our fruits. We also have vegetables over there. But one of the things that I really like I've mentioned about Thrive, is that I can just pick every day what I want. And some of my favorites, I like to make a tropical smoothie, and I'll use like banana and mango and pineapple, or you can use pineapple and throw in some coconut if you want. Thrive doesn't have coconut, got to get that at the store, but that makes a pina colada type thing. Another one I like is banana and strawberry. Today I think I'm going to go with berry. I'm going to use raspberry, and I'm going to use blueberry. Berries have a lot of great antioxidants and that sort of thing. So raspberry and blueberry for today. So I'm going to add the Thrive blueberries. And then some Thrive raspberries. Now many fruits, depending on which fruit you choose, they're very sweet and you don't have to add any sweetener. These raspberries are really excellent, but they're very tart, like a lot of fresh raspberries are. So for sweetener, I like to use the Thrive Honey Crystals. This is just a powder, and you can use it just like sugar if you want, which is what I do. Now this does have a little bit of sugar in it, I'm not sure why, but it's mostly honey. Now one of the things that I've done for years in smoothies is to add a couple of raw eggs for protein, and that was before I discovered Thrive. And it works great to add protein, but one of the problems is the danger with raw eggs of salmonella poisoning. Fortunately, I never actually got salmonella, but that was always a danger. So now I use the Thrive scrambled egg mix, which adds egg without the danger of salmonella, and I really like that. 3 tablespoons is 1 egg. So this gives me a fast and easy way to add protein to my smoothie. Now I'm just going to fill it with water. We have great well water right from the tap. Now that is really good. This is the first smoothie that I've had with the microgreens. I think it's actually a little bit sweeter than it is when I use regular vegetables. I like that a lot. So, what is my bottom line conclusion about the microgreens? I like them. I like them a lot. We're probably going to continue with it. Obviously, you can't live on it because there's not enough. This is only one of many different things I'm going to be doing, especially as the grand solar minimum comes in. We have a lot of food storage. We're going to be doing microgreens. We're probably going to be doing some sprouts as well. I'm going to be starting to experiment a lot more with actually growing a garden, which I've never done before. I'll talk about that in our next video. But this is just one of the many different strategies we're going to be using to prepare for the grand solar minimum. They're easy to grow. You can do a batch every couple days, and they don't take much space. Even if you live in an RV, all you need is this much room for a batch. And you can easily do it inside, year-round, in your house, in your RV, whatever. Works great. Now, there are a couple of challenges with this. Many people have made comments to the effect that this is not sustainable, this is not renewable. You can't grow the microseeds into into seed to be able to do the next batch. And that's true. So what that means is that we need to stock up on seeds. Now we got this whole starter kit and the seeds from True Leaf Market, and it's an amazing website. They have all kinds of microgreens and sprouts and that sort of thing, and all the stuff that you need to be able to grow that. They have a complete line of seeds that are non-GMO and heirloom seeds. Everything you need for your garden is there, so check it out if you're interested in any of that at all. But that's where we buy the seeds, and those little packets you can buy, but you can buy them in as large as 50 pounds of seeds at a time for the microgreens. So we plan on stocking up, and yeah, it's gonna, we're gonna probably have several hundred pounds of seeds to get us through for the next number of years with doing microgreens. And the this batch is probably only going to last us 2 or 3 days, but that's okay because you can get a batch in a week, and so if we start a batch every 3 days, then we'll have a constant supply of microgreens for salads and to put in our smoothies. So I think that's really cool. The other thing is that to grow it hydroponically the way we have, you have to have those pads that you put the seeds on that holds the moisture. And when you buy them from True Green, you buy them in packs, but if you buy a pack of 10, they're about $1.40 a piece. If you buy them in packs of 50, it brings it to cost down to about $1.10 a piece. So that's another thing that we're probably going to have to stock up on way in advance. It's not really possible to reuse them because they get completely full of the roots and everything. As you can see here, after I harvested this, the pad is really not reusable. So in order to do this, we're going to have to be stocking up on seeds and stocking up on the pads. You can also grow them in soil. I haven't experimented with that yet. I don't know whether you can reuse the soil or if you have to get new soil all the time. That's a different video. I haven't done that yet. But bottom line is we really like it. We're going to do this. If you are interested, I have a link below for we're now affiliate for True Leaf Market. So if you click on our affiliate link, that'll take you there. You can get it whatever you want. It's not going to cost you anything more to use our link, and yet you help support us and support our videos a little bit if you do that, and we would appreciate that. But check out True Leaf Market. It's a great place, great products. Microgreens. We're going to do this. I hope you found this informative and helpful. Live simple, live free. Be blessed. See you later.